This is just a quick addendum to a recent video I made about sexual swearing, and particularly the C word, the four-letter word that means vagina. I'm going to say that word. If you don't like it, you have to turn off now. But I'm really talking about cunts, pricks and fucking. And in the last video I was talking about what kind of falls out of the fact that the word fuck is a transitive verb, and also connected to that what the implications of the fact that the words fuck, prick and cunt are part of the same lexicon, so they tend to occur together. Just a quick reprise. What I said there is that because the word fuck is transitive as a verb, it only makes sense in a sentence if you put a subject at the beginning of it and an object at the end of it. So you can hammer a nail, but you can't just hammer. The word to hammer, the verb to hammer, is transitive. You need a person at the front of it, I, then your verb, hammered, and then you have the object at the other end of it, the nail. I hammered the nail. As I said, the word fuck is transitive in that form, so you need a subject at the beginning of it, and you need an object at the end of it. And I was just contrasting it with more polite euphemisms for sexual behaviour, words like sleep together or have intercourse or make love, those kind of words, which are not transitive, they're intransitive. So you don't put an object at the end of it, you say with, so you have a subject doing something with somebody else. So you make love with someone, or you and this person make love. There's no object at the end of it. But just to return to the fucking intransitives, what I was trying to say there was because of that, I don't know if it's an accident of language, because of that way that language has come about. So we have this word fuck, and we have this word prick, and we have this word cunt, and the fact that fuck is transitive, it lays out very particular roles for the participants involved in the act of sexual intercourse, involved in the fucking. In order for fucking to take place, you need a subject and you need an object. And it's so you might say, this person fucks that person. John fucked Mary, let's say. The problems with that come about, as I say, in relation to the politics of subjectivity and objectivity. Being a subject is a good thing. It has an active potential. It's associated with consciousness. It's associated with free will, whether it's accurate or not doesn't matter. It's associated with empowerment. It's associated with the possession of a kind of political validity. Objects, on the other hand, or being objectified, is something that none of us should want. It's associated with being, as it is with being objectified, with being the passive element in that, with being perhaps a participant in some kind of an economy, as an object of consumer exchange. It has all those kind of connotations. So you would want to be a subject rather than an object, I think, in any of those kind of actions. But because the word fuck is transitive, it demands the existence of an object. It doesn't make sense under normal circumstances unless you've got a fucker at the beginning and a fucky at the end of it. But in a sense that would be fine. I mean, if all things were equal, if our society was set up in such a way that that male-female relationships, I'm primarily talking about heterosexual relationships here, obviously, because I'm talking about cunts and pricks. If our gender politics was set up in a completely equal basis, then it wouldn't. In a sense, it wouldn't matter. We could ring changes on that. We could play games of being object and subject, or we could get into those kind of relationships and in healthy ways. But of course, it's not like that for all kinds of reasons. Possibly historical, who knows, possibly evolutionary, but more likely I would suggest political and what's the word? Anyway, just kind of cultural, I guess. For those reasons, there is inequalities and there is asymmetries in the way that males and females operate. So it is primarily the females who get fucked and the men who do the fucking. And because of the transitivity of the fucking, as a verb and as an action, it tends to be men who become the subject and women who become the objects. And that's not just some random observation about society. That's embedded in the language of the word fuck. And because it's in there, and because these lexicons tend to come as a bunch, the pricks and the cunts that lie at the outside of that are also part of that exchange and part of that disequilibrium. So I think when we are using the C word to talk about a vagina, we are referring to the lexicon, which in its grammatical structure is inherently sexist, or has the potential to be inherently sexist, just because of the fact that the word fuck is transitive.